You ever notice that some people seem to become wealthier every year? Others earn decent salaries, work hard, and still feel like they're running in place. It's easy to assume the difference is simply income. But if that were true, why do so many professionals earning $80,000, $120,000, or even more still worry about money? The answer isn't usually found in one big financial decision. It's found in dozens of small rules that quietly shape how money is earned, spent, and invested over time. Interesting part? Most of these rules are never taught in school, and they're rarely discussed in everyday conversations.
Imagine two young professionals living in Chicago and Manchester. Both are in their early 30s. Both earn around $90,000 a year before taxes. After taxes, healthcare, retirement deductions, and other withholdings, each brings home roughly $5,500 a month. On paper, they're doing well, but life quickly begins assigning jobs to every dollar. About $2,000 goes toward rent or a mortgage. Another $500 disappears into a car payment. Student loans take another $350. Utilities, insurance, groceries, fuel, streaming subscriptions, dining out, and weekend activities quietly consume another $2,000. At the end of the month, there's very little left. They aren't irresponsible. They're simply following the financial blueprint that most people around them also follow. The problem is, that blueprint was designed for comfort today, not wealth tomorrow.
The first rule wealthy people quietly understand is that income matters, but ownership matters much more. Most people spend nearly their entire careers selling their time. Rich people spend much of theirs buying assets that continue producing income even when they're not working. That shift sounds simple, but over decades, it changes everything.
The second rule is understanding the difference between affordability and cost. Modern finance encourages us to think in monthly payments. Can you afford $450 a month? Can you manage another $80 subscription? Can you finance this vacation? Each payment feels manageable on its own, but wealthy people rarely ask whether they can afford the monthly payment. They ask what the purchase actually costs. A $40,000 car financed over 6 years might end up costing well over $50,000 once interest is included. That extra money could have been invested instead. The purchase isn't just expensive because of interest. It's expensive because of everything that money could have become.
The third rule is learning that lifestyle expands faster than income. Imagine receiving a $10,000 raise. Most people immediately begin improving their lifestyle. A nicer apartment, a newer car, more expensive restaurants, better vacations. Within months, the raise feels invisible. The higher income exists, but so do the higher expenses. Financially intelligent people often allow only part of their income increase to improve their lifestyle. The rest quietly builds investments. They understand that temporary excitement fades. Ownership continues paying long after the excitement disappears. The fourth rule is realizing that patience creates financial leverage. Consumer culture rewards immediate gratification. Advertisements promise convenience. Social media rewards visible success. Stores make buying effortless. Waiting feels old-fashioned. But wealthy people often make large decisions much more slowly than average consumers. Not because they're cheap, because they understand that every major purchase competes with future financial freedom. The fifth rule is protecting cash flow. Many people focus almost entirely on increasing income, but rich people pay just as much attention to protecting what stays. Every unnecessary payment becomes a permanent claim on future income. A higher salary helps. Lower financial obligations create freedom. Both matter.
The sixth rule is avoiding unnecessary debt.
Debt isn't always bad. A reasonable mortgage or carefully managed business loan can create opportunity. But consumer debt often does the opposite. Credit cards carrying balances, furniture financing,
buy now, pay later purchases, personal loans for vacations. Each one quietly reduces future choices. The danger isn't one payment. It's dozens of payments arriving every month before you've even bought groceries.
The seventh rule is ignoring status competitions. This one is becoming increasingly difficult. Social media constantly displays carefully edited lifestyles. Luxury apartments, designer clothing, expensive watches, weekend trips, the newest technology. It's easy to believe everyone else is moving ahead. In reality, many of those lifestyles are supported by debt rather than wealth. Financially intelligent people understand something important. Status is rented. Wealth is owned. The two often look similar from the outside, but financially, they're completely different.
The eighth rule is treating investing as a monthly habit rather than a special event. Many people wait until they have extra money. The problem is, extra money rarely appears. Wealthy people usually reverse the order. Invest first. Spend what remains. Even modest monthly investments grow surprisingly large over 20 or 30 years because compound growth rewards consistency far more than perfection.
The ninth rule is recognizing that financial decisions are often emotional decisions, wearing logical disguises. People rarely buy only transportation. They buy identity. They rarely buy only a house. They buy security. They rarely buy luxury products solely because of quality. They buy recognition. Understanding these emotional motivations doesn't mean avoiding every nice purchase. It simply means recognizing why you're making it. That awareness alone prevents countless expensive mistakes. The 10th rule may be the most important. Rich people think in decades. Most people think in months. When someone focuses only on next month's payment, almost every purchase seems reasonable. When someone thinks about the next 20 years, calculation changes completely. A single financial decision rarely creates wealth. Thousands of ordinary decisions, repeated consistently, usually do. That's why wealth often appears boring. It isn't built through constant excitement. It's built through quiet consistency.
Perhaps the biggest lesson is this. The gap between people who become financially secure and those who constantly struggle isn't always intelligence or luck or even income. Very often, it's the invisible rules guiding everyday decisions. Nobody notices them in a single week, but over 20 years, they become impossible to ignore. Every paycheck becomes either a tool for future freedom or another step toward permanent financial pressure. And that choice is made long before retirement arrives. Not once, but every single month.
If this perspective helped you see money a little differently, consider subscribing for more thoughtful conversations about personal finance and long-term wealth.